Greg Sheffield Award, and I think this one is very, very accurate. Let me tell you how the Greg Sheffield Award reads. It's presented annually to the player who exhibits honor, integrity, and true love for growing the game, and that is spot on accurate for Vic. He's also helped create the W.O.R ranking system, the W.O.R one-wall rules, which has probably been one of the biggest challenges because people in New York play one way and people in indoor play one way. It's very, very confusing, but I think he's found a very nice happy medium. We all have a great, great time on the court. He also integrated the R2 platform into outdoor racquetball. And he's also 8-time national champ, none with me. I think it's time he finds a better partner than me. And his selection was unanimous and long overdue. Okay, so those are some stats, and here's my opinion on some of this stuff. I think it's, a lot of people wonder whatever happened to racquetball in the 80s. It was huge, and it's had its struggles since then. My opinion, pretty much the same game, the same rectangle. Outdoor courts have been here forever, and the sport has been like this. And what I think has been missing at the tournament director level is people like Vic. Every single time there's someone like Vic, which is not common enough, runs events, the sport is successful. So I feel like if there were 50 Vics, one per state, the sport would be exploding. And then if you could find one or two more in each state that run leagues like Vic, there would be no troubles at all. So if you guys would put your hands together and welcome.
Thank y'all.
Hey, we can hear you.
Yeah, but I'm so loud you can probably hear me without the mic. First off, this award doesn't just come to me. My wife, Patty, where's Patty? Right there. Make no mistake about it, she brought up to the Hall of Fame. She puts up with me and has allowed me to do what I do. You know, the very first W.O.R event that I played in was right here on these courts. Scott Hirsch ran the first W.O.R event here. All the indoor pros were here. I played in the event. I won the first 45 and over. We did 45 and over because we were younger then. I also won the men's A because I didn't know I was strong enough to play any higher. I didn't have any tournament experience. And, you know, Wally, really old friend of mine, cleared the way. Wally helped put that tournament on. Scott, Robert Martinez, and Hank Marcus put the tournament on here. You know, I won the 45s, I won the A's, and everybody knows, you know, rest in peace, Tennis Ball Eddie was one of the other stalwarts here at these courts. He did a big write-up on his webpage, talked about the tournament, talked about the great wins. My partner at the time was Jeff Weiner, a longtime player at the court, and I was really excited. I heard that Tennis Ball Eddie had done a real long story on his website about the tournament, and that our match was talked about. And the story went something like this. Jeff Weiner and partner put on a great show at the Beach Bash. That was kind of the beginning of my career of and partner. I've had the pleasure of playing with Cliff, Ruben, Mike Harmon, Richie Miller. Yeah, I got to partner with Richie Miller. Tim Hansen, Shane Anderson, all the McDonald's. It's a lot of people that I really do appreciate the opportunity to play with. Racquetball's been very good to me. Make no mistake about it, I've never been the best player. I'm not here. They're not honoring me. I know I'm not a Hall of Fame player. I was never even the best player at any of the parks that I've played at over the years. I've always been able to play with the best, but I've never been the best guy. So obviously I'm not being recognized for my ability to win. It's for my ability and my efforts to try to give all of you people and people everywhere a good time. they still said, Vic, you got to talk about what, you know, when we do the write-up, you got to tell us what was your biggest and best outdoor racquetball achievement. What was something that you're really proud of what you did?
Yeah.
And the first thing that came to mind was in 2009, I was playing with Rick Bernstein's son Mike, playing against Dylan Silver and Rock E. Carson. We were out there playing. I served. I aced Rocky. He didn't even touch the ball. I aced him. Rick was reffing. No play. I didn't call the score. That's what my career was like. So there's a lot of people to thank, and I'm going to get to it. You know, Hank Marcus and Alan Chasm, who was the WAR director at the time, had the confidence in me. When WAR never came back to Florida for a year and a half, I said, I'll step up, I'll be the Florida director, and for their confidence in me is what gave me the platform to be able to do more. I want to thank Mike Coulter and Greg Lorenz. I wouldn't have stepped down, and I'd be crazy if I didn't know that I was handing off the national director role from me to Greg. So Greg, thank you for letting me focus on running events instead of running the organization. And Mike Coulter for, well, if you don't know it, Mike Coulter runs three-wall ball, and he's another one of the people who behind the scenes has inspired me to try to do good. And there's a lot of people like that who have inspired me to try to do good for the community. And that includes Jack Moriarty, who I became very good friends with. It includes Wally, who I knew for, you know, 1971 is when I met Wally. Wally used to run these courts. And then when I started running events here, a lot of people helped and a lot of people made it happen. I couldn't do this by myself. Rick Bernstein, his son Mike, Harvey, Chris Young, and Jason Tackett. You know, we don't remember them, but if you go back around 8-9 years, that was the foursome that was making things happen, along with Rob Mahart. And we kind of started the fire, and then after that, it blew up. And it didn't just blow up here. When I started as national director at World Outdoor Racquetball, we had about, I think we were in 4 states, and we had about 200 members. Now we were in, I think, 16 states, give or take. And we've had an international event, and there's about, you know, 15,000 WAR members all told, including some expired members. Some other people that have always shown support of me that I want to thank. Robert and Freddie since day one. I used Freddie Ramirez as my sounding board for pretty much everything. When I was going through making rules changes and trying to figure out how is this going to be fun? How am I going to get indoor guys to come here and enjoy this game? And you know what? What I try to do when I put on an event, I think is a little bit different than most people. When I run an event, I'm not trying to make the end result who's the best in the world. That's not my goal. It's never been my goal. My goal is how can I have 200 and some people, or as many people as possible, have a great time. I want every single person who came to the event to go home saying, damn, I had fun, I'm coming back. That's what's important. Make no mistake about it. Part of the joy of coming to these events, even if you're a lower level player, even if you're 80 years old or playing in the 120s, part of that is having the best players in the world to watch and get to enjoy, like the match we're about to watch, like the matches we've enjoyed all day today. So treating the pros right and making it possible for the pros and the top players out of New York, the top players from indoor, the top players from free wall, how can I get them all to come? Some of that meant tweaking the rules a little bit, finding a middle spot. But the goal of whatever I've tried to do, what I think I'm getting recognized for, and it feels good to be appreciated for, is not that, it's that I've tried to give a good time to as many people as I can. And I really hope that I've done that, and I'm appreciative that I'm being recognized for that. The people in particular, again, Robert, Freddie, Belinda has supported me since day one. Thank you, Belinda. Jasmine and Anita, for years, you know, you're always behind me, have my back. I appreciate that. Wherever Jasmine is, I appreciate that. You people, I respect you tremendously, which is why your opinion means something to me, which is why when I know I'm appreciated by the people I respect, when Freddie tells me you did a good job, it means something to me. When Scott Hirsch over there, Hall of Famer who lit the fire, he tells me I'm doing a good job, it means something to me. So thank you all. You people here at the park also made a very big difference. Because had this park been a little combative and not want us to succeed, without the support of the locals, we wouldn't have been able to grow this tournament. Early on, I was only allowed 4 courts by the city. 4. You got people like Jack Moriarty originally,
Take a selfie.
and Andy Krosnick, wherever Andy is, and Mike Denton, wherever Mike is. Those guys set the tone for the locals to say, let Vic run the tournament. Let all these people from out of state come to our beautiful park. We'll step aside and sit down. They didn't have to. We could have been stuck on 4 courts, which would have meant we're running this tournament for 120 players, 100 players, and I'd be turning 100 away. But because of Andy and Mike Denton and the tone they set, the way they sold it to everyone else, and Keith Hernandez as well, supported it from the very, very beginning. Those guys need to be thanked as well, and I wouldn't be in this, and I wouldn't be getting recognized right now if they didn't help, and they didn't do their part. So, you know, when it was brought up to me that someone was going to nominate me, I told them it was 2 years ago, and I said, no, there's people who belong in front of me. I'm not a Hall of Fame player. It wasn't up to me. I didn't get to vote. You know, all the existing Hall of Fame players, and we've had a bunch of them here today, you know, Scott Hirsch, Freddie Ramirez, Robert Sostra. If I was a mistake, blame them. They shouldn't have voted for me. But seriously, Marty Hogan, yes, the first. Sorry, Marty. But you know, all I can say is thank you to the people who appreciate what I do. Being recognized gives me energy. You know, I know I get cranky. You know, this past weekend was especially tough. But thank you to everyone, and I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to be appreciated. So thank you all. All right, next up.